Think back to the best managers you've ever had. Now, chances are they weren't that easy on you. They probably expected a lot. They challenged you, but you trusted them. There was something about their leadership style that engaged you, that brought out the best. Now, how did they do it? What made them effective? Well, over the last 20 years, I've been chasing down the answers to those questions, studying the managers with the highest customer satisfaction levels, the highest team profitability, the highest employee engagement scores. 20 years is a lot of research, but I knew that if I could identify the common characteristics of effective leadership, well, then I would better understand great organizations, or great teamwork, great profit centers, great human potential.
New York Times best-selling author Adrian Gostick is considered one of the foremost experts on workplace issues. In his acclaimed presentations, Gostick unveils the findings of one of the largest research studies ever undertaken, including interviews with more than 200,000 employees and managers. He has appeared frequently on national television, including CNN's Larry King and NBC's Today Show. No matter where Adrian Gostick speaks, his audiences want more.
You ask managers what they think their #1 things that employees are looking for in their jobs. Pay is always #1, right? Job security, the managers say, is always #2. When you ask employees, they see things like feeling included, feeling in on decisions, being communicated with, and also, obviously, recognition. Do I feel praised when I go above and beyond? Do I feel praised for my contributions to this organization? How many people here have had a lousy boss? Boy, your hand went up real fast over here. Okay, now put your hands down now. Tell me about your lousy boss. Your name is?
Diana.
Diana, tell me about your lousy boss. What he was, she, or like?
She was a bully who was a control freak.
She's not here today, is she? Okay.
No.
Newsweek calls him a convincing veteran business author. The Economist says his work on leadership abounds with remarkable evidence, and organizations worldwide are calling him an absolute necessity, proving it is possible to increase employee retention and accelerate workplace performance.
I have a picture of my mom and dad from the 1950s. They're out camping in the English countryside, and they're on their motorcycle and sidecar. Now, obviously, my mom and dad didn't make a lot of money. That's the only car they could afford. And in this picture, in the sidecar, my mom has a dog on her lap, and there's a tent on the pillion behind my dad on the motorcycle, and it's raining, but they're happy. Now, my dad, for 25 years, worked at Rolls-Royce. He was a designer of jet airplane engine components. So he was never really a high and mighty person in the Rolls-Royce organization. And I asked him, Dad, obviously, from this motorcycle and sidecar in the picture, they didn't pay you very well at Rolls-Royce. Why would you have stayed there 25 years? And his answer was very interesting to me. He says, first off, Adrian, it wasn't about the money. He says, every day I was excited to go into work because it was very innovative. Managers and engineers were trained to listen to us. They actually went through training in the 1950s to listen to and respect their employees. He says they were also taught to recognize us. If I added something to the drawing, my name would be added to the draft, which went up to senior leadership and to the client. He said there were even days where he would literally throw his fist in the air because he was so excited to go into work. That's what we're talking about when we talk about work culture, employee engagement. Is there a difference in work environments? If I said to you, what's the fun airline to work at? What would you say? Southwest, yeah. Recently, the New York Times did a study where they showed that it is statistically harder to get hired as a $10 an hour baggage handler at Southwest than it is to be accepted into the Harvard School of Business. Statistically, it's harder to work on the tarmac in 120-degree weather in Phoenix, throwing bags for $10 an hour, than it is to get accepted into Harvard. Chester and I were kind of joking, our kids are coming up to college age, and you can just imagine after high school, they say to us, well, Dad, I think I know what I want to do with my life. I want to go work for Southwest as a baggage handler. And you have to say, whoa, slow down, son. You may have set your sights too high. Apply to Harvard instead, because it's much easier to get in. That's the kind of environment that is so rare that people will stand in line to work there.
Kindergartners laugh 400 times a day, and adults not so much.
Yeah, and what we found in the research is that companies and managers who lighten up are vastly more productive and profitable, and they even earn more money. But they're also doing it in a very smart way that drives productivity and creativity.
And it seems like a lot of these things, what they have in common is that these are things in the office.
Yeah.
They're not forcing employees to do things outside of work all the time that are supposed to be fun and are sometimes slightly annoying.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than, getting dragged after hours with the CEO who wants to do karaoke. What we're talking about here is having fun and linking it to work.
Laughing at work could be good for business.
It actually is. It's no longer the soft side of business. Our researchers found that in the best places to work, those Fortune 100 best places to work, 80% of people say they're having fun on the job. Most people's workplaces, I don't think it's anywhere like 80%. This is the science of leadership. A lot of people think, this is warm and fluffy kind of stuff. This is not kumbaya. This is not, fluffy, soft kind of stuff. But to begin, if each of you would just reach to the person next to you and just give them a little kiss on the cheek. If each of you could do that. No, I'm just kidding. No, don't do that. You were going to do it, weren't you? So let me bring this all together with one example. This is from Norton Healthcare. This is a great healthcare organization in Louisville, Kentucky. They have about 10,000 employees. A few years ago, Norton Audubon Hospital, which is the heart hospital, had an issue. Their food service department had 1% customer satisfaction nationally. So the CEO knew he had to do something, and he brought in a new director. His name was Mike Julson. Within 6 months, Mike took that department from 1% nationally, customer satisfaction, to 99% within 6 months. Now, I asked Mike, I said, how in the world did you do that? And he said, it wasn't me, it was my people. My people made all the difference. They made the change. I said, well, Mike, were they a different team? Were they different people? And he said, no, it was pretty much the same group. I said, Mike, then you probably made a difference. What did you do differently? And Mike said, well, he says, I just thought my people had been beaten up long enough. And so he says, we changed everything. He says, we praised. We even praised mistakes for a while. We praised when they arrived on time. We praised when they smiled at customers. We just thanked people for their jobs. And we listened to them. We listened to them on menu ideas and ways we could help our patients. My chef in his tall white hat started making rounds to patients and asking how they were doing. It made such a difference that people started showing up on time. They started coming in and caring about the customer experience. We started to have this noble goal of making a difference in patients' lives through their nutrition. He says, and something magical started happening. People started to care. From 1 to 99 in 6 months, all with some very, very simple ideas. When I speak, somebody listens. And when I do something great, I'm praised and I'm recognized. That was the magic. And great things happen.
He's called by many the world authority on employee engagement and recognition. Adrian Gostick will change the way you lead and inspire your people.
Is there potential locked within your workforce or within yourself? What we've learned about employee engagement will change the way you do business. And we're going to have some fun doing it.